What is up, guys? Wraith here, Graybearded Gaming. As promised, level 8, new spells. Time to hit the road, time to travel a little bit. We've just stepped outside of Necro's Forest for the first time. Well, I say first time. We did shoot up to the plane of knowledge really fast. Picked up a couple more of our spells. One thing that was kind of neat while we were there is, one, we got a Spirit of the Wolf on a random drive-by, which is nice, and we'll make good use of that. And one of the other neat things was, I always loved this graphic with this kind of glowy shield, and somebody ran by and kind of inspected me and hung out for a second there, and kind of out of nowhere decided that I could make use of a Spore Strand shield, which obviously not a very high-end item. They just gave it to me, which was pretty cool. Not necessarily going to turn down a freebie. It's a pretty spiffy little item, and at this point, probably the best piece of gear that we own. So everything else we have is basically just the standard cloth stuff and what we started with, earning with the newbie zone. But we're going to go on our first outside of Necro's Forest adventure here. We're going to try to sneak our way across the zone and make our way over to Befallen. Now I pulled down the Brewell, don't know how to pronounce it properly, excuse me if I'm messing it all up, but we pulled down the Brewell map add-on. It kind of changes the maps a little bit and kind of gives you a little bit better as far as actual names, kind of where things are. It's not an active live map. It's not like one of those weird tracking maps. But this one actually puts names on. As you can see, if you switch back to the default real quick, just kind of, this is what you get. This one actually puts just some of the names on some stuff. So if you open up the map, you can see, like, I'm standing right at the Necro's Forest, West Freeport, etc. And mostly, we can kind of make good use out of it there. But we are going to try to go right here to Befallen and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Now we have... There used to be a ton of people in these zones, and for the first time in a very long time, we have found a zone where we are not alone. Somebody has been here, and somebody has been very, very busy, because there is nothing at the door but a trail of corpses. The only thing about this zone, if I'm not mistaken, just about everything here is going to be aggro on site, if I am not mistaken. Like I said, it's been a very long time since we've been here. Remember kind of kind of some of the base layout for the zone and different floors was that you had to find a Shadow Knight or a Necro on any of the floors, and they would drop a key, and the key would be how you would move down to lower levels. Now it says that there is somebody else in the zone. Not entirely sure where this person is. Haven't seen anybody yet. A little aggro through the door, so we're gonna call it an effortless pull. One of the advantages, of course, of skeletons is they don't really run, so we should be okay in that regard. Some of the other guys will, of course, but so far most of these guys are kind of blue to us, which should put us in pretty good shape. I have no idea if that's going to sell them any good, so I'm not going to weigh myself down with that stuff just yet, especially how we just got here. As you can see, the new pet is doing quite nice. He is decently strong. He's going to be able to hold his own against a pretty good amount of these guys, especially near towards the first floor. Like I said, he popped out already kind of yellow to me, so he's got a decent little size on him. Oh, and we have made an additional friend. Let's get the pet on him as well. Throw some dots. We might have to... Oh! We're going to have all kind of action going on here. Thankfully, we are right near a zone line. See how much of this stuff we can actually try to take out. See if we can tough this out here. Might get a little bit dicey, but I think we should be able to get this. If we can get any one of these spells to land on this guy here. Let's see if we can pull our pet across. This guy's about dead. Let's get this taken care of. That's just somebody's pet. He really shouldn't do a whole lot to us, but just be kind of a nuisance. Getting a lot of resist, though. It's going to make life a little bit difficult. So we will see about going with a little ward on dead action, see if that helps us out. Again, it's like I said, oh, man, we're out of mana, so we're gonna have a little bit of trouble. And that was always one of the classic problems. Right? As soon as you're gonna come into a dungeon, especially if you're gonna do it solo, there's a very high probability that you are gonna get into having to fight multiple mobs at once. So let's see, we are decently low here. Looks like they put Disease Cloud on my pet, which that's moderately irritating. Let's get him out of combat here, see if we can get some of his hit points back. Now, one of the other things I did remember I had forgotten about before, especially when you get in areas like this, is we can type in that little thing there. There we go. And get all the dead bodies kind of off the floor. Probably make a hotkey with it at some point just to get the bodies up and off the floor. But you can do a slash hide corpse, and there's several different variants of it. And you can do a slash hide corpse, all to make everything go away. I think there was a couple others. There's like everybody but yourself, or maybe just your own. I don't remember what all the exact keys are. But very useful little thing, especially if you're going to be in a spot where you're just kind of gonna knock things out for a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and send our pet in here, get some poison action going, hoping that this guy who just ran. Oh, and we're gonna end up with two. Didn't see the guy around the corner. Let's take that one up pretty quick. This guy's going to be a little bit more troubling as he's slightly bigger. Let's get some dots on him. Sit back down. One of the things we're really looking forward to, of course, is our counterpart to our Dark Pact, which would be our leech spell, so we can really get some health siphoning action as we are draining our own hit points. Oh, he got his attention, because of course the trade-off with the life spike spells is they're not exceptionally efficient. You're actually going to spend slightly more mana than you're going to gain in health. So we're going to kind of retreat back to the door here. Put yourself in a pretty safe spot. But as you can see, first floor, not getting too brave. We managed to get in here and get a couple things done. You know, we've managed to survive a couple of 2-for-1 pulls there. Gonna have to kind of keep tabs on the dot action, right? Because of course some of the Necros will be casting some of the same spells I got, so we could get in trouble here pretty quick if we're not careful. And at the same time, we really can't use our Gather Shadows to explore too much. We might be able to use Invisibility versus Undead, as long as we're not keeping trap, I can say, on where keeping tabs on where the Necros and SKs are. We could, but basically we're just gonna have to see, right? I mean, we got here, first part of our adventure. I'm going to meta away for a little bit. As you can see, my little buff is not gonna hit me while I've got that debuff on me. So it's going to be a little interesting. It's going to put a little bit of that challenge mode to it, because we have to be very careful about how we progress, because as you can see, I'm not getting that bonus to healing, and as long as I have this disease cloud on me, my innate healing, just regen while sitting down, is really low. Now I'll get the mana back, but the health will be kind of slow. So we're going to sit here for a few minutes while we get some health and mana back, and we'll be right back when I'm not. So let's see, doing pretty decent. We are fizzling our world off tonight, though. Let's see. Let's get the pet in here on this cat. Start laying down some dot action. Do a life tap or two to make sure we keep our own health kind of high. You kind of can't ask for better results than that. But we are here. We have made it, finally, to our first kind of dungeon. I'm not sure we're going to get too far past the first floor tonight. Kind of see what we do. Alright, so that is the one where we have to find, in one of these rooms, our little Necro or Shadow Knight who should drop a key. We should be able to use that key. Let's make sure, check behind us, make sure we're pretty good here. Should be able to use that key to open that door. So let's get brave. Now, one of the things I do remember, of course, a Shadow Knight is a Shadow Knight, which means they have the ability to death touch us. And we're going to have to be careful and sneak our corner view around some of these rooms here, because we do not want to get ourselves swarmed under. Thankfully, our pet did manage to come in here with us without giving us too much trouble. So we'll take this guy out, and we'll work on the rat right in front of us, because while he is small, he cons as aggro, which means if we sit down in front of him, he'll probably take a pot shot on us, just to irritate us and keep us from getting mana back. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just send the pet in on him, use him to siphon some free hit points. There we go. Oh, and we aggroed his little friend. Apparently he was very protective of his little fuzzy rat friend. Make sure we keep our dark back rolling. Our health's in pretty good shape. Like, that'll be one of the fun balancing acts, like I said, that I've never really... Oh! Jerk. Not going to let us sit down here. Oh, apparently we're going to get some free beer. So one of the things that... it's apparently going to be a very heavy beer. What do we pick up that's so heavy already? Probably these things. Alright, so tell you what. Let's load this guy up with some artillery. He can start picking away at these guys. So, almost forgot where I was going with that. So one of the things that will be interesting, like I said, is as part of playing the Necro in a little bit more of a classic fashion, right, is the health to mana balancing act, right? It's a talent, it's a gift. You got to work on it. You got to practice a little bit. In a lot of cases, it doesn't come natural. Most people are used to just, our classes, I should say, just watching this blue bar. But since I'm trading health for mana, there'll be a couple things that we're going to want to make sure that we do. And ooh, this could be interesting. How many more guys we got hiding in here? See if we can get right through the door. So there's our little Necro. There's a rat. Alright, so as we're moving, let's see if we can get just this rat without aggroing the whole room. And that's going to be a no. The Necro's already going to be on us here. So and we're getting a lot of resist. So let's move our attention to this little Necro before she pile drives too many dots on our little pet here. And we'll have to even be careful with some of the healing to make sure we don't pull everything else back to us. Yep, we have all kind of attention going on now. And I realize this whole time we have not even had, and the pet is down. We're going to have to make a break for it. See if we can make it to the door. We're doing okay, but it's going to be close. We're going to aggro everything as we run by. And we make it with a quarter of our hit point bar left. So, as I was saying, with our brave adventures, you know, got to be careful going in the rooms. We get too much stuff, we're going to get a lot of attention that we don't want really, really quickly, which is what happened there. One bad stun at the wrong time meant we weren't able to heal the pet and keep him alive, even though we did have the spell memorized. And then, of course, plague rat disease, which is pretty much the exact same thing as disease cloud. It just happens to last even longer. So instead of lasting a mere 6 minutes, this is going to last a full 10 minutes, and it really slows down from recovering from that bad adventure there. But it's one of the hazards of these zones. If you're going to go dungeon crawling, greater risk, greater reward. As you can see, so that zone has a pretty good experience modifier. As dangerous as it is, we've still managed to eke out about half a level already, which puts us in pretty good shape. One of the things, of course, is we have no way currently to take that disease back off of ourselves. Now, eventually, I believe Necros do actually get that ability. By the time we get it, it might not be really useful for us. At least as it pertains to this zone, I don't think we'll be here very long. Definitely want to get in here and mess around a little bit more. But I think now with the adventure of moving across the zone, kind of working on the top floor, and again, we're going to be a while working through this little dot. So I think what we might do is call that a pretty good spot for this one, and pick up a little bit later, adventuring in Befallen, and kind of see where we can get to. Because on top of everything else, as you can see from the buff window, our Spirit of the Wolf has now left us. We're going to have to be even more careful, because the escape plan next time won't be with such haste. So, it should be quite the adventure, slightly more dangerous. Like I said, we're camping outside the door right now with every intention of going back in and attacking, and we will do that with the camera rolling so everybody can watch in spectacular glory if I go back in and get my butt kicked. But for now, I think we're going to call that a good night. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you had a good time taking a little bit of a path down memory lane and watching some of the old zones, in this case, Common Lands and Befallen. Like I said, we will press forward every little bit closer to 12 when we can really start traveling, seeing some of the classic zones. So I hope everybody has a good night, and we will see you guys next time.